How's it going? This is Corbett Mower Repair. I've got an Echo 225 weed eater in for repair. This is a very common weed eater, popular, real good, reliable weed eater, and they're really easy to work on. If you're having running issues, the first thing that you want to check out is this right here. If you're having the situation where you go to give it gas and it's just falling on its face, it's bogging real bad, one thing that happens very often with these Echoes is the exhaust gets plugged, and all you need to do is take you a drill bit and just drill you a hole right there, right in there somewhere. Doesn't have to be a big hole, just something in that diameter. Doesn't matter. The bigger the hole, the louder it's going to be. So just a small hole right there, that's going to let it breathe, and that will fix the situation where you give it gas and it's bogging. All right. So if you've done that and it's still not wanting to run right. All right, a lot of people think that these carburetors are not adjustable. They actually are. They've just got the adjustments sort of hidden. This one's so bad, it's got to be replaced, and I'm going to show you how to replace it in just a second. But there is an adjustment down in this hole. It's a little flathead bit that you'll stick down in there. There's a little rubber cap that they have down in there. This is the tool that you use to pull it out. But if you don't want to buy this, all you got to do is just take you like a pick and heat it real good and stick it down in that cap, let it sit there a minute and cool off, and then jerk it out. That's going to be your low speed adjustment. So if it's not wanting to idle, then you can idle it up here and turn this counterclockwise out, give it some more fuel, and that'll fix that. And then down in here, it's hard to see it, but right there, that's your high-speed adjustment. So, but as cheap as these carburetors are, just replace it. So I'm going to show you real quick, this won't take but just a second, how to replace this carburetor. Take your air cleaner off. Your kit should come with a new air filter. Take that off, and then you're going to remove these screws here. All right, once you've got those out, this will just slide right off. Move that out of the way. All right, now you want to take your throttle cable off. This nut right here is a 10 millimeter. You'll back that off. Once you've got this backed off, this will come out, and then you just want to move that over. Hard to do this one-handed. Move that over. And then once you move that over, that little throttle cable will come right out. All right, once you've popped your throttle cable off, all these lines go into it, goes through this boot. And the best that your kit's going to come with a new boot and all the lines, so just pull all that out. Take you a flathead screwdriver and dig that grommet out, and I'll show you putting the new grommet and lines in just a second. All right, so once you've got your grommet out, this is the way your new one's going to look. See that thing hiding in there. And you'll just take this end of it, so that's your fuel filter. Just stick that in and let it go down that way. All right, and then once you got it to this point, this can be a little aggravating, but it's not a big deal. You just want to take a flathead screwdriver and with one hand push it in from the back, and then take that flathead screwdriver and just walk it in all the way around. If you want to spray some WD-40 on it to help it out, you can do that. All right, before you go to putting your carburetor back on and all that, inspect your intake gasket. If this thing is tore or if it's broken or whatever, you need to replace that. The kit comes with one, but the OEM one is just a little thicker and a little more pliable. So if this is good, don't take it off and replace it with the one that comes with the kit. Just leave this one on there. Mine's good. So, all right, when you go to put your lines back on, this is a breather for your tank. All right, this is the line that your fuel filter's on. So the carburetor, when you prime that bubble right there, it is sucking fuel through this line, and then this is the purge. It just spits it back out into the tank. All right, the little pipe here on the left, that's the purge. The bigger one goes to the fuel filter. So you'll hook the bigger one up to this one, and then the smaller one up to this one, the one that's just dumping into the tank. All right, once you've got your lines on, put your throttle cable back in that groove. All right, and then you want to tighten this 10mm nut back up. All right, once you've tightened that back up, verify that your throttle cable's working. And then you got your air cleaner housing. Just start that back in there. Don't force them in, let them just sort of walk into the holes by themselves, because you do not want to strip where those go in. All right, once you've got that tightened back down, just fill it back up with fuel, and then we're just going to make sure it's priming properly, and it is. Make sure that you don't have this vent for the tank. Make sure that it's not kinked, otherwise it'll spit it back out through the carburetor if it's not able to breathe correctly. Make sure your switch is on. All right, need to idle it up. This one is flooded, so I'm going to hold that throttle open and then crank it up and let it burn out that excess fuel. So after I held the throttle open, of course it cranked her up, and just hold the throttle down and let it. When it stops smoking, you'll know that it's not in a flooded state anymore. But the way this is sounding, I'm just going to go ahead and put me a hole there, and that'll prevent problems in the future. So then you'll just stick your new air filter in there and your cover, and you're good to go. So I appreciate it and hope you have a good day.